Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is Living to Learn. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day, your busy life to watch my video today. And I just want to encourage you to share this video with anyone who you think might benefit from it, from the topic, from the subject that I'm presenting today. But before I do that, I just want to say that if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, that's one of the greatest forms of support that you could give me. So if you believe in what I'm doing, I would appreciate a subscribe. A like, a comment, share, that means a lot as well. Also, if you'd like to follow me on other platforms like TikTok or Instagram, I can be found at Live to Learn Coaching. You'll find the TikTok and Instagram handle in the description of my video. Also in the description of my video, 3 opportunities to donate, to invest in my channel financially. If you feel that strongly about what I'm doing, what I'm trying to accomplish here, I would appreciate that. You don't have to do it. And if it's not something that's within, your budget, totally get it. I want to thank those who have actually believed enough in me to invest their financial resources in my channel. Thank you so much. Speaking of financial resources, we are on part 2 today of a 3-part series called I Am Under Financial Stress. Now, this is something that I think a lot of us can relate to, and I wanted to make a series, and my goal is to continue to make content that's going to be helpful. It's going to apply to people's daily lives. A lot of times I've talked about things that are fairly broad. I think that there's still substance to those videos as well, but to try to get specific with certain things that each of us, day-to-day people like myself, people like you, that we deal with, right? That maybe we need help with. And I know finances is one of those major areas. It's one of those areas in our lives where it can make or break us, right? And I want to encourage you before I get started on this, and I probably should have said this at the beginning, but I want to encourage you. I want you to know that you are a lot smarter, you're a lot capable, you're a lot more wise than you may think you are. So take that into perspective. I want you to take that into account as we talk about part 2. Part 1, I gave some fairly reasonably, easy advice, not easy to follow, not even easy for myself to follow. I'm gonna be honest with you. I talked about having a budget, and I talked about tracking your spending, right? Hey, what do I need to spend on? What can I not spend on, right? What are my fixed expenses versus what are my, what did I call them? Fixed versus, what was the word? Anyway, stuff you don't need, right? Entertainment, eating out. And again, there's nothing wrong with those things. I love that stuff. We need to have fun. We need some stuff. We need some excitement in our lives. Not to the point where it's leaving us financially stressed. That's the point I was trying to get at. Today, I'm talking about today's part 2, and here's what I want to share with you. This is my second part of sharing advice. How can we alleviate that financial stress we may find ourselves under? Well, I have two bits of advice for you. Okay, we talked about budget. We talked about tracking our spending. Now let's talk about our goals. Now let's talk about what are we trying to achieve with this currency, with our finances. And here's what I've found. And again, I got this advice years ago in regards to a career. Set a goal and start to follow that goal, pursue that goal. Keep that in the forefront of your mind and go after it. You may not, let's say career-wise, right? Hey, I want to be a lawyer. Okay, cool. I'm going to start taking the steps. You start to study, you go to law school, you start to take the classes. Maybe along the way you figure, maybe being a lawyer is not for me, but perhaps on that journey, you found something else. And you would not have ever found it if you weren't pursuing something else in the first place. So what are our objectives? What are we trying to get out of this? And there's 2 major objectives that we need to have when it comes to our money. Number 1, short-term goals. What is a short-term goal? A short-term goal is something that you can see happening, you can perceive happening within the near future, okay, up to like a year or so, I would say. So let's say, hey, in 6 months, I want to pay off my car. Let's say you owe $3,000, $3,500 on your car, and you're saying, I want to pay that off in 6 months. That's a short-term goal. It's actually a really good goal as well, because you're going to be saving yourself that monthly payment, saving yourself on the interest that you're paying. But now what? Well, now you can start to develop a plan to achieve that goal. What's a long-term goal? Long-term goal, that's something like in the far future, right? Something that we know is coming. It's not around the corner, But one day it will be there. And believe me, and let me just say this as a side note. One thing that I've noticed as I've gotten older is just how fast time goes by. It really passes. It really flies, as they say. It does. It just does. So what are our our long-term goals? Let's say, hey, you're 43 years old. I want to retire by the time I'm 65. I want to have $150,000 in my savings account for retirement once I'm 65 years old. Now, I'm not here to debate on if that's enough money. I'm trying to give examples, right? We need to have short-term goals. We need to have long-term goals. Why? Because it's going to give us something to focus on. It's going to give us something to strategize about. And when you have that much focus on your money, when you're focused and you're thinking that much, you're putting in that much time, that much thought, that much planning and strategy into your finances, you've got a lot less time to be irresponsible with those finances. Again, this is just my bit of advice. This is something that I truly believe in. It's something that I've seen modeled to me in my life. Again, I talked about this in the introduction to this series, how fortunate I was to grow up around people who were pretty good with money. They were pretty good at budgeting. They were pretty good at setting goals. They were pretty good at staying disciplined. But that's my advice this week. That's part 2. Objectives. What are we trying to do here? In the short term, what do I want to accomplish? Is there a bill I need to pay off? Is there a debt I need to cover? Is there a certain amount of money I want to save up? I want to be able to go on vacation in June of 2025. From here on out, I want to save up $2,000. From here until June of 2025, I want to save up $1,000 for vacation. That's a short-term goal. And what that's going to do is it's going to be on my mind. So when I get paid and I'm tempted to, maybe splurge a little bit. Wow, maybe we can just do this tonight, or maybe I can go here. Whoa, bring it back. I have a goal. I have an objective that I need to meet. And that's to have that 1,000. That's to have that 2,000 by the time it's, when I'm ready to go on vacation in June. And it's like anything else. Your future self is going to thank you. The June 2025 version of myself is going to be glad. He's going to be grateful that I took the time to plan and strategize and to stick with that strategy to accomplish my short-term goal. What is my long-term goal? What are my long-term goals? Hey, you know what? I want to be debt-free by the time I retire at 65. No credit card debt, no student loan debt, no overhead on a business. I don't want to owe anything to anyone when it's time to retire. I want to have my fixed expenses only. Wow. Okay. So I have another 20 years to plan that. But it's still an objective. It's still something that I have to revisit every time I get paid. Every time I have a source of income that pays me. Now I have something that I'm kind of, you're kind of responsible for that, right? You're now accountable for that. Like, hey, I can do whatever I want with these resources. However, I've set a short-term goal and I've set some long-term goals. And regardless of what I have in front of me, regardless of what I want to do, there are some things that I have to do. I've committed to these things because they're going to help me. They're going to alleviate my financial stress. They're going to be good for me, for my family, whatever it might be, right? So, what is my advice this week? Set short-term goals, set some long-term goals. What do I want to accomplish with these resources? What do I want to accomplish with my finances? That is going to alleviate financial stress. How come? Because now you're not just getting paid and just, hey, I don't know what to do with this. Let's just, whatever happens, happens. No, you're being strategic now. You've got some short-term stuff. You've got some stuff that you want to accomplish within the next month, within the next 6 months, within the next year. And then you've got some stuff that you want to accomplish further down the line. And your finances is what you're going to utilize, what you're going to use to accomplish those things, to meet those objectives. And I think it's important that we have both short-term and long-term goals. Those are going to alleviate financial stress. And again, If the June 2025 version of myself is going to be thankful, how much more is the 65-year-old version of myself going to be thankful? Wow, so glad you decided to set this goal. I'm so glad that you decided not to waver from this. And again, I'm not saying all these things because I'm some type of a financial guru. I've not accomplished everything that I need to accomplish. I'm still learning. I'm still getting better at this. I'm still living to learn. That's the name of the channel. I'm still improving. I'm still growing. So I want you to keep that in mind. But again, short-term goals, long-term goals, just two other things that are going to help alleviate that financial stress. So I hope this helps. Again, share it with somebody you think might be helpful too. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. I want to thank you once again for taking the time to watch. Have a great day.